The Battle of Sekigahara, which took place on October 21, 1600, was one of the largest and most decisive conflicts in Japanese history, ending decades of civil war and setting the stage for over 2 centuries of Tokugawa rule. The roots of this monumental clash lay in the power vacuum created by the death of Toyotomi Hideyoshi, who had unified much of Japan through conquest and diplomacy but left behind a young heir, Toyotomi Hideyori, too small to exercise real authority. A council of 5 elders, composed of the most influential daimyo, was appointed to act as regents until Hideyori came of age, but mutual suspicion and ambition quickly fractured this arrangement. Among the regents, Tokugawa Ieyasu was the most powerful and politically astute, steadily consolidating influence and forging alliances with important clans such as the Date, the Tu, and the Honda. In response, Ishida Mitsunari, a talented administrator and general loyal to the Toyotomi legacy, organized an opposition coalition to curb Tokugawa's growing power. Ishida gathered support from several daimyo resentful of Tokugawa, including Ukeda Hideaki, Mori Teramoto, Shimazu Yoshihiro, and Otani Yashitsugu, forming what was called the Western Army, which nominally claimed to act in defense of Hideyori's inheritance. Meanwhile, Tokugawa Ieyasu mobilized the Eastern Army, counting among his allies renowned commanders such as Tu Naomasa, Fukushima Masanori, Kuroda Nagamasa, and Honda Tadakatsu. The Western Army numbered around 80,000 men, while the Eastern Army fielded approximately 74,000, though exact figures vary among sources. The 2 massive forces maneuvered across central Japan, occupying castles and securing supply lines. Tensions escalated when Tokugawa seized Gifu Castle, held by Ishida's allies, and advanced westward. The armies finally converged at the narrow Sekigahara Plain, a strategic crossroads surrounded by mountains. On the morning of the battle, dense fog concealed the troops' positions, causing confusion and delaying the initial engagement. When the mist lifted, Ishida's forces occupied strong defensive ground, while Tokugawa's troops deployed opposite them. Fighting began in earnest as Tokugawa ordered a general attack, with Tu Naomasa's red-armored vanguard charging the enemy front lines. The battle quickly devolved into brutal close combat, with arquebus volleys, arrows, and swords clashing along the entire front. One of the most critical elements of the engagement was the position of Kobayakawa Hideaki, who commanded 15,000 troops on Mount Matsuo overlooking the battlefield. Though nominally part of Ishida's coalition, Kobayakawa was undecided and had been secretly approached by Tokugawa with promises of reward if he betrayed the Western Army. For hours, Kobayakawa remained motionless, refusing to commit his troops. Tokugawa, fearing a stalemate, ordered his arquebusiers to fire warning shots into Kobayakawa's position to force a decision. Under pressure, Kobayakawa finally ordered his men to charge down the slope against Otani Yashitsugu's flank. This treachery shattered the morale and cohesion of the Western Army, prompting further defections among other commanders such as Wakasaka Yasuharu, Ogawa Suketada, and Akaza Ieyasu, who all turned against Ishida. With his army disintegrating, Ishida attempted to retreat but was ultimately captured by Tokugawa's forces. Other Western leaders were killed or fled. Shimazu Yoshihiro managed a daring escape with a small band of warriors, while Otani Yashitsugu, suffering from leprosy and unable to fight effectively, committed ritual suicide on the battlefield. After the victory, Tokugawa wasted no time consolidating control. Ishida Mitsunari and many of his key allies were executed, and the Toyotomi territories were carved up or reassigned to loyal Tokugawa supporters. In 1603, the emperor formally granted Tokugawa Ieyasu the title of shogun, inaugurating the Tokugawa Shogunate and ushering in the Edo period, an era of relative peace, strict social order, and isolation from foreign influence that would endure until the 19th century. The Battle of Sekigahara is often remembered not only for its sheer scale and dramatic betrayals but also for how it sealed the fate of feudal Japan, replacing centuries of fragmented warfare with the longest-lasting military government in Japanese history.